Hello. Today we are talking about being a master creator. We're all creators. And we all create things every day. And sometimes we don't realize we're creating it. And we've either created it intentionally or we've created it unintentionally by default, right? Hi, I'm Melody, and that is my name. My name is Melody Self, and I am a health and wellness life coach. I empower you to live more fun, have more, just live your dream life. And in the end, you're going to have increased confidence, increased clarity. You're going to elevate your life and your health and your well being. And that's what I live for. So, how are you being a master creator? How are you showing up for yourself? How are you creating? I used to think, and I don't know if anyone else is like this, but I used to think that it just happened to me. I don't even know why it happened. It just happened. I was never taught that like the consequence of your actions or the consequence of your choice. I mean, yeah, if you touch the stove, you're gonna get burned, but not in other ways. Not that I was consciously creating. It was more like the things just happened to me. Like you couldn't help it if, the something fell out of the sky on you. That was just something that happened. And so I didn't really understand, and I know that the way that it showed up really badly for me and really poorly for me was that I was told that if it's really hard for me to say and to admit, to be honest. So I was married. I was married over 20 years, and in the marriage there was a lot of domestic violence. And I remember one time hearing on I heard like an Oprah show or something, and she would say, well, it was, if someone's mistreating you, that's your fault. Well, of course I've been mistreated, and to be honest, I had a lot of domestic violence in all my life, and I didn't know how to make it stop. And so I wanted tools, and I wanted to know, how do I make this stop? How does it stop? How can I stop it? All I did, honestly, after I heard that kind of a message, I felt condemned. I didn't feel empowered. It was not empowering for me to hear that, well, you're teaching people how to treat you. Well, how do I make it stop? Now I went to the counselor, and I didn't want a divorce. And she goes, well, if you want to stay married, you're going to have to put up with abuse. Again, I wasn't being taught. I wasn't being empowered. I wasn't being shown, what could I do? How could I make things better? How could I change the way I was getting treated? I had no idea. I didn't know what I could do differently. I didn't know how to get anyone else to treat me better or treat me differently. I didn't know. And in the way I was taught in my upbringing in the Bible was said that you lay down your life for everyone else. And so I just thought, well, I'm living a godly life. I'm laying down my life. I'm letting them do and that's how I translated it. I didn't know that in the way that I was laying down my life was not in a way that was healthy, not in a way that was really loving myself, and it wasn't honoring God really. But I thought that it was, because I'm laying down my life, and that's what we're called to do. That's what we're supposed to do. And of course, I could get I was looking for my Bible. I could get it and like start, quoting some scriptures from it right now. So I didn't know, and helped. It didn't allow me, and in that way, that's why I entitled this, like, are you creating your greatest fear or your biggest dream? So what are you focusing on? Are you focusing on all men are jerks, all men are going to hurt you, all men are going to do something bad to you? Is that the kind of reality that you're focusing? Are you focusing on that you're just unlucky, and everywhere you go, bad things happen to you? It's like the sky is just falling right over top of you. If that's what you're looking for, then you're going to see more of it, and you're going to see how that plays out, and you're going to see that it shows up more and more for you. And so it's really important, and it's really significant for you to be able to be in charge of how you're going to think. And the way that you think will change the way that you create. It changes how you think people are treating you. It changes how you treat you. It changes how you're going to allow others to treat you. It all starts right here. And if you have a big dream and you just go, there's no chance of me ever getting it, it's just a pie in the sky dream, are you ever going to achieve it? Do you ever see yourself actually having it? If the answer is no, then you know it's not even a possibility that you're going to have it, because you can't even imagine it, that it could come true. It's just a wish at that point. It just becomes some kind of pie in the sky wish. Well, I know one day I'll be able to get, lose the weight. One day, it's just a wish. If you're not able to put actions to it, and you're not able to put a timeline behind it, and you're not able to really say, you know what, it's really important to me. If it's not really important to you, you're not going to take actions for it unless something happens. Most of the time, people wait too late, and I've done a lot of holistic health and city health, and natural health, and people will often wait till the last, until they've tried everything else, and everything else, all the other opportunities have been exhausted, when they've already tried everything and it didn't work. They've already done all these different things, and like, well, that didn't work. And so now what has happened is the fire has gotten bigger. The fire has gotten bigger, and the fire is getting so big, and it's just a raging fire. And by this time, doing a little thing and like, well, that didn't work, because it takes the consistency. It's the compound effect of the over and over and the repetitive sowing the seeds. I mean, when you sow the seeds, you don't expect them to come up tomorrow, but yet when we want our health to get better, we want it to get better today. Like, we want it to get better yesterday, because we're suffering now. We can't wait for it to take time. We can't wait for the compound effect. And that's why holistic health and natural health is preventative health. It's preventing a future disaster. It's preventing a future catastrophe. It's kind of like how it's insurance. Now, that doesn't ensure that nothing bad is going to happen, but it does ensure that when something bad does happen, you're going to have an easier time through it in most situations. It's going to give us, so that's just a different way, like just a different way of looking at it. And so again, I want to say, are you creating your greatest fear? Are you worried that your health is going to fail, and that because you're a certain age, all of a sudden your body's going to fall apart, or because a certain thing is going to happen, and that that when you turn, you're not going to be able to see anymore, you're not going to be able to bend your knees, that you're just going to hurt, and that's just the sentence that you have to have? Is that your belief? Are you creating that as your reality because you keep focusing on it, and then you keep making that happen, because the less you move, the more it happens? Just like a car that sets up, it starts rusting, and now your body's rusting up because you're not taking action to prevent it from doing anything, because you're in your belief, what difference does it make? You're going to hurt anyway, so why do it? So those are things, your belief, that's how one little thing can lead to the next, to the next, to the next. But if your biggest dream, like for me, I do have a dream of hiking mountains. Well, if that's my dream and I'm not doing anything about it, and I can't even see myself doing it, or I see that I'm going to be in a wheelchair because of my choices, then I'm going to keep, and I'm not talking about, acts of God, or whatever, house catching on fire or whatever, or like my son. I mean, I've had a house fire. I've had my son with cancer as a teenager. So there's a lot of things I understand. I'm not talking about, things like that, but it doesn't mean that but even me having been prepared, and me having the knowledge, and me having studied the holistic health, it made a difference in his life, and it gave me opportunity, and it gave me power to be able to help him in a different way than I would have been able to help him if I didn't know those things, and I hadn't studied those things, and I hadn't practiced those things. So I was able to support him more fully because of those things that I knew, because I'd already studied and I'd already been doing that. So if you already are having the practice of doing things and being more mindful and being more intentional in the way that you talk and the way that you think and the way that you act, it will have a greater impact on your life. It's the compound effect. Again, it's the compound effect. So what are you creating? Are you creating your greatest dream? Your biggest dream? Because if God gave it to you, you can have it. If God gave it to you, you can have it. It doesn't matter how big it is. It doesn't matter how out of this world it is. If God gave you a true dream, and he put that dream in you, and you know that it's in you, and it keeps calling you, and it won't go away, when is your time? When are you going to take the next steps? When are you going to do the thing? When are you going to do what's in your heart? And I'm here to help you and to empower you to live your dreams, to live the God dream that God put inside of you. You can have it. It is possible, and it is possible for you. And if he gave it to you, it's possible. So are you going to keep letting your fear hold you back? Are you going to keep letting fear paralyze you? Are you going to keep letting fear hold you to be its captive? And I feel like when it says in the Bible that the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy, I feel like the greatest enemy is fear. That's our greatest enemy. What if something goes wrong? What if something goes right? What if what you want happens? What if the good thing happens? Well, I'm going to be prepared for the failure. I'm going to be prepared if there's something wrong. What if you change your thinking, and what if this is the year that you get to live your best life? What if, even though you're going through terrible storms and valleys, what if you still have hope and you still have the promise and you still feel like your life has meaning and purpose and value? And if you are looking for to live your best healthy selves, I'm here. I'm doing clarity calls. Get on my calendar. Let's set up a time and help you live your best, fulfilled, most wonderful year ever. I'm here to help you and to empower you and for you to see what is possible for you. I love you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.